Hello guys, today I'm back with another YouTube video. So if you like my channel or if you like my videos, just click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Now you must be thinking that why should you subscribe to my channel? The thing is that I have done a lot of hard work to find these stories for you guys, and plus it also gives me the motivation to work and get the content for you guys. Work hard. So our first story about today is the Villisca Axe murder house in Villisca, Loa. On June 10, 1912, Josiah and Sarah Murray were bludgeoned to death inside of their home in Villisca. Their 4 children and 2 friends who were spending the night were also killed. And to this day, the crime remains a mystery. Their home is considered one of the most haunted houses in the country, and guests are drawn to it. People even pay $400 plus to stay for one night. Tours have been cut short by children's voices, falling lamps, moving ladders, and flying objects, says the Villisca's ex-murder house. And in 2014, paranormal investigator stabbed himself after spending the night. Skeptics have left believers. So the images which you saw right now are all the real images of the house. The second one is about the Lamp Mansion in St. Louis, Missouri. The Lamp Mansion in St. Louis is known to be one of the most haunted places in America, due to a tragic history that continues to haunt people today. The 33 home was built in the 1860s by William Lamp, a successful brewery owner who ended up killing himself in 1904. After the youngest of his 4 sons, Frederick, died a few years later, his wife also died of cancer in the house. Then in 1922, William Lamp Jr. shot himself in the same room. William Sr. killed himself. As if that weren't enough tragedy for one place, in 1949, Charles Lamp, William's 3rd son, shot his dog in the basement of the home and then killed himself in his room. That same year, the house was sold and transformed into a boarding house, where reports of hauntings began. According to Destination America, witnesses have experienced burning sensation and slamming doors. Today, the Lamp Mansion is a restaurant and inn that also holds events on Sunday night. The inn hosts a murder mystery dinner. The third is about Jane Harlow House in Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles is one of the best destinations for haunted house hunting. And this Bavarian-style home in Beverly Hills has a particularly gruesome history. In 1932, it was home to the iconic Jane Harlow and her abusive husband, Paul Byrne, when he shot himself in the head while standing in front of the mirror. Their butler discovered him and called MGM instead of the police. So there were tons of rumors that it wasn't actually suicide. Many suspected Byrne's ex-girlfriend, a suspicion exacerbated by her jumping off a boat to her death a couple days after. Jean moved out after his death but died only a few years later at the age of 26. But wait, it gets creepier. In 1963, celebrity hairstylist Jay Sebring bought the home and lived there with his girlfriend, Sharon Tate, until she left him for Roman Polanski. They were still friends, and remained so until both of them were murdered by the Charles Manson cult. Tate was the same age as Harlow when she passed. But back to when the couple lived in the Harlow house. Tate told several friends of creepy occurrence in their home, and even mentioned it in the interviews. For example, once, when she was sleeping in the master bedroom alone, she saw a creepy little man. Her friends say she believed it to be Paul Burns' ghost. She was so freaked out when she saw the alleged ghost that she ran out of the room and then saw a hanging shadow, corpse with its throat slit in the hallway. There are also stories about 2 other people dying in the swimming pool over the years. The 4th one is about Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff, Arizona. The Hotel Monte Vista has numerous paranormal guests. They can't get rid of it. The hotel, which opened as the Community Hotel in 1927, named after the townspeople who helped raise the funds for its construction, has a history of underground opium dens, speakeasies, and gambling. Today, the hotel is known for the paranormal activity that haunts some of the rooms and halls. Guests who have stayed in the room 220 have experienced the TV changing channels on its own accord, and some have said they felt cold hands touching them in their sleep. There is also reportedly a phantom bellboy who knocks on doors and announces room service. But when guests get to the door, no one's there. One of the more popular and possibly most disturbing encounters is the sound of an infant crying in the basement. The hotel website reads, staff have found themselves running upstairs to escape the sound of the cries, though the sounds are very real to those who hear them. There has been no information that has explained this phenomenon. The 5th one is about Hotel Cecil in Los Angeles, California. More cursed than haunted downtown LA's Hotel Cecil got such a bad rap that it actually changed its name to stay on the main. If you're a true crime and paranormal superfan, you have likely already heard of it. Where to begin? So many bad things have happened here. There's literally an entire Wikipedia page dedicated to its violent history. The first recorded death by suicide is in 1931, followed by a long string of similar deaths in 1932, 34, 37, 1938, 39, and 1940. At some point in the 30s, one man was pinned to the exterior wall by a truck. A woman murdered her newborn in the building in 1944. And the pattern of suicide continues in the 60s. In 1962, a woman jumped from the 9th floor window and landed on a pedestrian, killing them both. It's worth noting that 2 of the women who died by suicide apparently jumped while their husbands were asleep in the room. In 1964, Tenant Goldie Osgood was brutally murdered, a crime which has remained unsolved. Next, in the 80s, the infamous serial killer Richard Ramirez, which was also called as the Night Stalker, stayed at the hotel, and in the 1990s, Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger lived there. Other weird things kept happening, but the weirdest is definitely the disappearance and death of a 21-year-old traveler, Elisa Lam. A few weeks after Lam went missing, Her body was discovered in the rooftop water tank after visitors and tenants complained about a funky taste. They later found odd footage of her in the elevator from the night of her disappearance. Here is the video so you can see what happened that day.
Kind of like a New York kind of area where you can get public transportation, you can walk anywhere. I think that's probably the appeal. And it's not exactly a safe neighborhood, and to go out at night, you kind of have to know the neighborhood, really watch her back. And I think it's unfortunate she probably didn't know what kind of neighborhood she was in.
It's difficult to make out what she's doing. It looks like she's either playing hide and seek with someone outside the elevator, or she's frightened and attempting to hide from someone. But the doors won't seem to shut. Authorities ruled the death accidentally drowning, but because you need a key to access to the roof, many suspect foul play.